Welcome to Diamond Field on the campus of St. Anne Pacelli High School. It's the Beck Center Game of the Week at Pacelli on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live, presented by Glenn Smith Chevy GMC, Coca-Cola, and Jack Houston Memorial Hospital and Houston Clinic. Dave Platt along with producer Chris Gates. We're going to bring you all the action as the Pacelli Vikings take on their arch rivals, the Brookstone Cougars, in the District 5 opener for both ball clubs. Both teams coming in trying to get things off to a good start in this district season. Brookstone, of course, two-time defending state champion. The Pacelli Vikings under a new head coach, Matt Ward, trying to build things back up to where it once was. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for this ball game. Let's go into the Brookstone Cougars lineup first. Batting first will be the catcher, Gray Jones, the senior. Batting second, shortstop Brennan Neal. He's a junior. Batting third, center fielder Luke Lowry. He's a senior. Jake Lowry, the first baseman, bats cleanup, with Harrison Baker, the left fielder, batting fifth. Batting sixth will be third baseman Nick Hatchell. Batting seventh, Jake Griffin, the right fielder. Dylan Johnson will DH and bat eighth, with Mitchum Kelly batting ninth, playing second. The DH is for pitcher Luke Vale. As for the Pacelli Vikings, here is how they will take to the field. In the outfield, Carter Dixon, Nolan Vaughn, and Aiden Dix from left, center, and right. Landon Lau, Jacob Velos, Cam Carino, Dustin Sherman, the infield third to first, with Levi Thompson behind the plate, Billy Smith on the mound. And now, our national anthem. All right, I'll bet you added the last two words, play ball. It is indeed time to play ball for Pacelli and Brookstone going at it. And as I mentioned, Billy Smith will be on the mound for the Vikings. Smith this season, this will be as mentioned, Smith taking to the mound. Smith with Levi Thompson behind the plate. As I mentioned, Smith, of course, to lead the team in strikeouts, doing a fine job this season. As for Pacelli, again, this past weekend, they picked up a win, split a series at Valley, winning the first game 4-3, dropping the second one 6-3. They are now 4-8 on the season. As for Brookstone, the Cougars at 5-3, and as I mentioned, it is the district opener for both ball clubs. The Vikings trying to get things going here. Cam Carino and Jacob Velos have been their two big guns. In fact, over the weekend, Carino was 3 for 8 with a couple of doubles, hit a home run, and hit a double and a home run. Velos was 4 for 8. He'd gotten off to a rough start at the plate because they've been pitching around him all season. Instead, Velos going deep, hitting a couple of doubles, scoring a couple of runs, driving in runs, going 4 for 8 on the series. So it's the Vikings will come into this game with a little bit of momentum. As for Brookstone, last week they played one game. They beat Heritage by a score of 3-2. They've gone 2-2 in Border Wars, finishing second, dropping this championship game to Lakeside 5-3. All right, let's get things started. Coming to the plate for the Cougars, Gray Jones will lead things off. The senior hitting .385 with 4 runs batted in. Billy Smith looking in, getting the sign, and here is his first pitch. Swinging, right side, pop up And it is right fielder Aiden Dixon there to make the catch. One pitch, one out for the Vikings. That will bring Brennan Neal to the plate, the junior shortstop. Neal leading the team with a .500 batting average. With 3 runs batted in, he leads the team with 13 runs scored. Smith winding, and here is his first delivery to Neal. Swing and a miss, strike 1 on the breaking pitch. 0-1 count on Brennan Neal. Paul Kite behind the plate calling the balls and strikes with Preston Davis umpiring at first, Peyton Ziegler over at third. Here's the 0-1. Breaking pitch outside, count now 1-1. As I mentioned, the Vikings looking to take care of business here and get things going, get this district season off to a good start. Smith looking in, getting the sign from Levi Thompson. Wide and the pitch. Fastball up a little bit high for a ball. So count now 2-1. Beautiful day here. 52 degrees here at first pitch. Fastball catches the inside corner. Strike 2-2 now. As I mentioned, 52 degrees. Wind is out of the west-northwest at 11. What that means is it's blowing straight to center field. They're gusts to 19, so getting up in the air might help some fly balls. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball to short. Velo scoops it up. Over to Sherman at first for out number 2. So, 2 up, 2 down now for Brookstone. Billy Smith off to a good start, and it brings up Luke Lowry, the center fielder. Lowry, a senior, hitting .417 with 6 runs batted in. Smith looking in to get his sign, and the first pitch to Luke Lowry. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Fastball. Smith on target today so far. Looking good. Wind and a pitch. Up high, ball 1. Here's the 1-1. Fouled off, 1-2. For what it's worth, this is the 5th appearance by Smith on the season. 0-3 on the season. His earned run average, a 2.88 ERA. Here's the wind, the pitch. Taken inside for a ball. Got now 2-2. Smith's 2-2 delivery. Outside, count is now full, 3-2. Smith gets the sign. Here's the payoff. Chopped to short. Velos takes on a big hop over to Sherman at first, and it is 3 up, 3 down. And the top of the first is now in the books. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 1.5 innings, Brookstone nothing. Pacelli coming to bat. You're watching Vikings baseball on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Enjoy huge savings on our complete lineup of GMC Sierras and GMC Terrains. Full-size and powerful GMC Sierra at $13,500 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Drive away in the stylish GMC Terrain as low as $395 a month. People from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Check us out 24/7 at glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile.
And we're back at Diamond Field for the bottom of the first inning as the Pacelli Vikings head to the plate. Let's take a quick look at their lineup. Leading things off will be second baseman Cam Carino. Jacob Velos at short bat second. Nolan Vaughn in center batting third, with Dustin Sherman at first batting fourth. Levi Thompson, the catcher, hits fifth, while Sean Maglione is DHing sixth. Billy Smith, the pitcher, seventh. Carter Dixon in left, eighth. Aiden Dixon in right, batting ninth. And stepping up to the plate, Cam Carino is hitting .390 on the season with 6 runs batted in. First pitch from Luke Vale is taken for a ball. Ball one. Vale, 1-1 on the season with a 5.44 earned run average. 9 innings pitched, giving up 10 hits. Next pitch fouled off into the screen. Vale with 14 strikeouts, tied for the team lead in those 9 innings, and he's walked 5. Hitters are hitting .256 against him. Carino fouled it off. It's a 1-1 count on the junior second baseman. Vale takes a sign, winds, and here's the pitch. Breaking pitch. Carino hammers it to center field. Will it stay in the ballpark? No, it is gone. Cam Carino, a solo home run to center field to lead off the bottom of the first inning, and the Pacelli Vikings are off to the start they wanted. Carino ripped that one, got all of it. No doubter on that one, his second home run of the season. And just like that, the Vikings have a 1-0 lead. Viking bench fired up on that one as well. They should be. As I said, Carino got all of that one. Perfect conditions for long balls today. And that'll bring up Jacob Velos, the sophomore shortstop. Velos hitting .207 on the season with 7 runs batted in. But that .207 average, he has led the team in walks all season long. They've been pitching around him. He's walked 13 times already. First pitch, breaking pitch, outside, taken for ball one. Velos got frustrated at the beginning of the season, but as I mentioned, this past weekend he went 4 for 8 with a couple of doubles. The 0-1, ground ball towards short. Brennan Neal scoops it up over to first, and that is out number 1 here in the bottom of the first inning. That will bring up center fielder Nolan Vaughn, the junior, hitting .258 with 2 runs batted in on the season. Vale getting the sign. The first pitch. Vaughn takes it on the corner for strike. Strike 1. The 0-1. On the corner, strike 2. Vale ahead of the hitter now is 0-2. Vaughn have to guard the plate here. The 0-2 delivery. A little bit outside, try to get Vaughn to chase. He would not. You want to expand the strike zone if you can. Vaughn holds off, so it is a 1-2 count. The delivery. Vaughn swinging ground ball toward the Vikings dugout, so the count remains 1-2. Pacelli jumping off that quick start, trying to see if they can add to their 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. The 1-2, curveball grounded toward third base, backhanded. The throw over to first. Nick Hatchell gets him, and that is out number 2 here in the bottom of the first inning. And that will bring up the senior first baseman, Dustin Sherman. Sherman hitting .176 on the season with 3 runs batted in. Vale gets the sign. Here's the first pitch to Sherman. Fastball, strike 1 at the letters. 1-0 count. Vale's been staying ahead of the hitters. The 0-1. Ground ball off the curve, foul. Matt Ward made a quick swing at trying to scoop that up barehanded. Got past him. Chased down by Nick Hatchell. Count now 1-1 on the senior Dustin Sherman. Vale working quickly. Here's the pitch. Sherman holds off a little bit high for a ball. Count now 2-1. Vikings with 1 run here in the first. Nobody on. Vale trying to shut the door here in the bottom of the inning. The 2-1. Breaking pitch. Fouled off by Sherman. And that moves the count to 2-2. Here's Vale's delivery. Outside. Ball 3, full count now. Sherman's worked the count full. Or it's 2-2. Plate umpire Paul Kite on top of things here. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Strike 3 on the corner, and that is the inning. In the inning, 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 1, Pacelli 1, Brookstone nothing. You are watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Enjoy huge savings on our complete lineup of GMC Sierras and GMC Terrains. Full-size and powerful GMC Sierra at $13,500 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Drive away in the stylish GMC Terrain as low as $395 a month. People from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Check us out 24/7 at glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
And we're back at Diamond Field, second inning here. Pacelli with a 1-0 lead. Brookstone leading things off is Jake Lowry, the first baseman, hitting cleanup. By the way, that first inning was sponsored by Carol Purdue, your local State Farm agent who supported Georgia Alabama Sports Live from the beginning. Give her a call today. She's the biggest State Farm agent in East Alabama, but hey, she's got customers both sides of the river. Pitch up high for a ball. Smith winds. The delivery to Jake Lowry, taken down low. Count now 3-0. Smith having to work from behind for the first time today. Here's his 3-0 delivery. Fastball, a little bit up, ball 4. So he walks Lowry to lead off the inning, and the Cougars are in business. That brings up right fielder Harrison Baker. Baker hitting .250 on the season with 2 runs batted in. Greg Mathis, the Cougar head coach, coaching at third base. Let's see if he put the bunt on or not. Baker, nope, swinging away, first pitch. Strike 1 from Smith. Letter high inside corner.
Go, Bill.
So 0-1 count on Harrison Baker. Jake Lowry taking a pretty solid lead off first base. 1 foot on the green. Here's Smith, over to first. Not that close, but not close either. He's letting Lowry know he's there. So here we go. Smith gets set. Here's the 0-1. Swinging, driven to right field. Aiden Dixon under it and making the catch for out number 1 in the inning.
Now batting for the Cougars.
So that'll bring up Nick Hatchell, the third baseman. Hatchell, a junior, hitting .400 on the season with 4 runs batted in. By the way, he leads the team with 2 doubles. A dangerous hitter for the Cougars. Trying to make something happen with a leadoff walk here in this inning. Pacelli holding a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. Billy Smith's pitch. Fastball, strike 1. Smith's been on target. The walk has been the only time he's been behind the hitters so far. On the stretch. Over to first. Close. Dustin Sherman puts a tag on Lowry, but nothing doing there. Smith out of the stretch. Comes set. Back over to first one more time. He is safe. count 0-1 on Hatchell. Smith's pitch. Hatchell takes it on the outside corner, strike two. Right at the knees, perfect pitch from Smith. Count now 0-2. One out with a runner on first for the Cougars. Cougars coming into the game with a 5-3 record. The pitch fouled off into the screen for a strike. Count remaining 0-2 actually. Smith got him to chase a little bit. It was a little bit high. But Hatchell getting a piece of it. Good hitting there. Stay alive. Lowry, a pretty healthy lead off first. Smith's pitch. Lowry breaks for second. Levi Thompson's thrown down to second. It is a little bit late, and Lowry stealing second base. For Lowry, that's his first stolen base of the season. So the Cougars with a runner in scoring position here with one out in the second. 1-2 count on Nick Hatchell. Smith comes set. Here's the delivery. Up high, ball two. 2-2 count now. Greg Mathis telling his guy to swing away, make some contact, get something going. Smith gets the sign from Levi Thompson. Here is his 2-2 delivery. Almost, not quite. A little bit outside, so the count is now full. 3-2 count. Cougars trying to match that run that the Vikings got in the top of the bottom of the first inning and that leadoff home run by Cam Carino. Here's the 3-2. Fouled off into the screen. Hatchell stays alive. As I mentioned, a gorgeous day. The sun is out. Remember how cold it was this morning? This is good weather for baseball. Little on the breezy side, light weather, light jacket weather, but still good baseball. Foul ball. Count remains 3-2. This will be the eighth pitch. It's been a good bat for Hatchell, keeping things going. Smith getting the sign. He comes set. And here's the third payoff pitch. Curveball, strike three. Hatchell throws. Strikeout number one of the game so far for Smith. And so with two outs, that'll bring up right fielder Jake Griffin. Griffin, a sophomore, seeing his first action of the season. Right-handed hitter. Or left-handed hitter, excuse me. Smith. Trying to get out of this thing. Runner on second, two outs. First pitch to Griffin. Breaking pitch, perfect. Strike one. Smith's had good control today. He walked Lowry on 4 pitches, but other than that, he's been ahead of the hitter most of the way. Getting the sign. And here's the 0-1. Fouled off. Toward the third base side. So count now 0-2 on Jake Griffin. Pretty good start here for this District 5 opener for both teams. Smith gets the sign. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Couldn't get him to chase. Fastball way out there. So ball one. 1-2 count on Jake Griffin.
Let's go, Bill.
Smith comes set. Looks at the runner on second. Here's the delivery. Breaking pitch up high for a ball. Count now 2-2. Smith comes set. Here's his 2-2 delivery. Ooh, nice, but a little bit up. So the count now 3-2. One thing about Smith, he can bring it. He's averaging a strikeout, literally 1 strikeout per inning. He came in with 17 strikeouts in his 17 innings of work. He's got 1 so far today. Here's the payoff pitch to Griffin. Up. Smith breaks, looks towards second. Lowry trots back. So we'll reset and try it again. So 3-2, 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. The pitch, ground ball right back to Smith, the comebacker. He flips it over to Dustin Sherman, and that is the inning. So in the inning, no runs on no hits. There were no errors. 1 runner left on base. At the end of 1 1/2 innings, Pacelli 1, Brookstone 0. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today.
I'm bringing my other half.
I'm bringing the pep talk. Come on!
I'm clearing my head.
And I'm clearing 300.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Get all the perks with the PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Join in club or online today. Deal ends soon. See club for details.
And we're back at Diamond Field here. Bottom of the second inning was already underway. Levi Thompson grounded out to short on the first pitch of the inning. That brings up Sean Maglione, the sophomore designated hitter. Maglione hitting 300 on the year with 7 runs batted in. Timeout here as Jake Lowry ties his shoe. We get things set up and we'll get things going. As I mentioned, Maglione hit 300, 7 RBI on the season. Luke Vale looks in, gets the sign. Here's the first pitch, Maglione outside, ball 1. The Vikings off that 1-0 lead, off that leadoff home run in the first by Cam Carino. Here's the pitch, Maglione. Driven to center field, on the run, and over-the-shoulder catch by Luke Lowry. Nice play by Lowry for out number 2. Driving the ball to center field is a good bet right now because the wind's blowing pretty good. West-northwest at 11, which means it's coming from dead behind home plate. There are gusts up to 19 miles an hour. You get one up in the jet stream, you might get a little help. Billy Smith coming to the plate. The pitcher, Smith hitting 154 with 3 runs batted in on the year. Vale's first pitch to Smith. In the dirt, ball 1. Smith trying to help his own cause. He's already got a 1-0 lead here. Vale's delivery. Ground ball toward first. Lowry scoops it up, steps on the bag, and that is that. A quick inning here in the bottom of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 2, Pacelli 1, Brookstone 0. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Hey, today's game is brought to you by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, the first and original presenting sponsor on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. Top of the third inning, Brookstone and Pacelli going at it. Pacelli a 1-0 lead for Brookstone. 8-9-1 hitters due up. Dylan Johnson, the designated hitter, leading off. Johnson, a senior. He is 1 for 2 on the season coming in. First pitch fouled straight back at my face, and I ducked. I should know better. I was a catcher back in the day. Come on. Strike one. That was literally right at my nose. Wouldn't have done any damage. I mean, couldn't hurt anything, right? So there we go. 0-1 count on Dylan Johnson. Smith's pitch. Strike. Letter high, outside corner. 0-2 count. This is Johnson's 5th appearance of the season. He is 2 for 4, and he's got a run batted in. Next pitch. Ball. So 1-2 count. Here's the wind and the pitch from Smith outside in the dirt. So the count now 2-2. Here's Smith's 2-2 delivery. Swing and miss, strike 3. His second strikeout of the ball game here, and 1 out here in the top of the third inning. That brings up Mitchum Kelly. He's a number 9 hitter, but he's more of a second leadoff man. Kelly, the junior, hitting .375 with a home run and 3 runs batted in. He is literally a second leadoff guy. Kelly has done a lot of damage on people because if he gets on, he's at the top of the lineup behind him. First pitch fouled off into the screen, strike 1. At least he had the grace to hit that one up and not at my face. All right, I want to count on Mitchum Kelly. Billy Smith working quickly. 0-1 in the dirt outside, ball 1. Or 1-1 count now on Mitchum Kelly. Smith impressive so far, retiring 8 of the 9 men he's faced. Next pitch, a little bit low. Ball 2, 2-1 count. Again, working quickly. Here's the 2-1. Swing popped up, middle of the diamond. It looks like Cam Carino, he backs off as Nolan Vaughn coming in to make the catch out in center field for out number 2. So 2 outs here, and that'll bring up the top of the lineup, Gray Jones. Jones flew out to right field to open the ball game in the top of the first inning. As I mentioned, Jones coming in, great hitter, hitting .385 with 4 runs batted in. Smith, his first pitch to Gray Jones, catcher. Takes a little bit outside, ball 1. Close, but not quite. Smith trying to paint the corner. Couldn't quite paint the black on that one. So here we go. The breeze, as I mentioned, west-northwest 11. It feels good, I got to tell you. The 1-0 up high, ball 2. 2-0 count on Gray Jones, senior catcher.
Let's go, Bill.
One of a number of seniors in the starting lineup, one of the team leaders. Taking that inside on the inside corner, strike 1. 2-1 count now.
Got a baby, Bill.
Smith working on his 47th pitch of the ball game. Taking inside, just misses. Not quite. So 3-1 count now. A good hitter's count for Gray Jones. Smith winds and fires. Catches a corner, where strike. Not quite. Jones is a catcher. He's pretty good at framing pitches, as is Levi Thompson. They're also pretty good at trying to work the umpire when they're at the plate. Inside. Swinging. Jones got a piece of that one. That was up and in. He managed to stay alive, though.
Go, Bill.
The count remains 3-2 with 2 outs here in the third. Smith trying to get the 1-2-3 inning. Jones has his own ideas about that. Swing, fouled off. He gets a piece of it into the screen. Count remains 3-2. So the eighth pitch of the at bat here. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Smith gets the sign from Thompson and the delivery. Breaking ball. He fists it out in the left field, dunks in for a single and maybe more. He's chugging to second. The throw into second is a little bit late. He slides in head first, and Gray Jones doubles to left field. A little two-out thunder here for the Brookstone Cougars. Jones did a nice job on that, and he stayed on it, and he fisted it over the head of third baseman Landon Lauk. Carter Dixon chased it down to throw to second just a little bit late. Jones did not hesitate. He's a catcher, but he's got good speed. And Brennan Neal coming to the plate, and they automatically give him the base on balls. He'll take the automatic walk. They want to stay away from Neal. Neal hitting .500 coming into the game, the leading hitter in just about every category for the Cougars. But that'll bring up Luke Lowry, who's pretty solid himself. Lowry came in hitting .353. Lowry grounded out to short in his first at bat in the first inning. Lowry coming up 2 outs, runners on first and second. Billy Smith stepping back off the rubber. He'll reset as we get set. So the first pitch to Luke Lowry. Swing and miss, or swing fouled off. Strike one. 0-1 count on Luke Lowry. Smith's thrown a really good ball game here so far. A lot of pitches, 52 pitches so far, but he has kept the Cougars at bay. They only hit a double. It was a flare double. A perfect place to drop a flare double. He's had the Cougars off balance a little bit the entire way. 2 strikeouts. He's given up just one walk and then the intentional walk. Here's the 0-1. Instead, throw to second. Ooh, they almost got it, but not quite. Gray Jones managed to get his hand in there before Cam Carino dropped the tag on him. Smith with a good move to second. Peyton Ziegler, the umpire, said, close but not quite. So here we go. Back to the 0-1 count on Luke Lowry. Smith gets the sign, comes set. The 0-1. A little bit outside, ball one. Couldn't quite get Lowry to chase on that one. Keeping an eye on both base runners. As I mentioned, Jones is a catcher. He hasn't had any stolen bases, but he's got good speed. He was a running back in football. And, of course, Brennan Neal quick on first. The pitch, breaking pitch. Catches a corner, got the black on that one. The count now 1-2 on Luke Lowry. Brookstone's first real opportunity here. But it comes with 2 outs. Smith gets the sign. 1-2 delivery. Swinging, line to right field, and it dunks in front of Aiden Dixon. Dixon coming up throwing to the plate. The throw gets past Levi Thompson. It's one hop and skip past Thompson. So Gray Jones comes in to score on the single, going to second on the throw. So Brookstone has tied the game up at 1-1. RBI single by Luke Lowry, bringing in Gray Jones with their first run of the game for the Cougars. Neal advancing to third base on that. And that will bring up cleanup hitter Jake Lowry, the first baseman. Jake Lowry walked and stole second in the second inning. He came into the game hitting .350 with the team leading 9 runs batted in. He's got 2 runners in scoring position right now. First pitch, curveball, catches the corner for strike one. Dangerous hitter. Billy Smith trying to pitch out of this jam with a minimum amount of damage. Brookstone has tied things up here in the top of the third. The pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Jacob Velos scoops it up over to Sperman at first, firing it for out number 3. So that ends the inning, but in the inning, 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left on base at the end of 2 1/2 innings. Brookstone 1, Pacelli 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Carol Purdue in Phoenix City today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today.
I'm bringing my other half.
I'm bringing the pep talk. Come on! I'm clearing my head.
And I'm clearing 300.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Get all the perks with a PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Join in club or online today. Deal ends soon. See club for details.
Bottom three back here at Diamond Field. Pacelli, Brookstone knotted up one apiece. The Vikings coming to the plate 8-9 and 1 due up. Carter Dixon leading things off. First pitch, Dixon swinging. Strike one. Dixon hitting 107 on the season with 2 runs batted in. Good ball game. Pacelli, of course, scoring on a leadoff home run in the bottom of the first inning for off the bat of Cam Carino. Brookstone knotting it back up in the top of the third on an RBI double by Luke Lowry. That pitch fouled off. So now the count is 0-2 on Carter Dixon, the left fielder. He's a junior. Luke Vale getting the sign from Gray Jones. And the pitch. Breaking ball, couldn't get him to chase. So the count now 1-2. Big old 12-6 curveball that hit the dirt. It was close. Dixon with enough to stay away from it. Here's the 1-2. And that catches the corner, strike 3 looking. And that is out number 1 for the Cougars here. Bottom of the third inning. That brings up Aiden Dixon, the right fielder.
Aiden Dixon.
Sophomore, looking for his first hit on the season, 0 for 15 on the year. Luke Vale settling down after giving off that leadoff homer. First pitch, bunt, right back to Vale. Vale scoops it up all the way over to first to Lowry for out number 2. Bunt had a little bit too much on it. Bunting's not all that easy with metal bats, to say the least. So that's out number 2, and that will bring up the top of the order in Cam Carino.
Number 1, Cam.
The junior shortstop. He came into the game hitting .390. He's up that one. He led off the bottom of the first with his second home run of the season. First pitch up at the letters, strike 1. Wind picking up a little bit again, and again it's blowing out to dead center. Vale winding. Here is the 0-1. Catches the black, strike 2. 0-2 count on Cam Carino. Jacob Velo's on deck, hoping to get a shot here. Carino trying to get something going, keep the bottom of the third inning alive. The pitch. Carino swinging, driving it to right field, but it's right at Jake Griffin for out number 3, and that is the inning. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 3, Pacelli 1, Brookstone 1. You are watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Both Chevy Silverado and Traverse are ready for you. Get supplier pricing today on all new Chevy Silverado 1500s with up to $13,500 off. Or get a loaded Traverse, the roomy Chevy SUV with third row seating, and enjoy up to $6,000 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Smart people from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Get ready to smile.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
Now batting for the Cougars.
Hey, Coca-Cola, proud presenting sponsor on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. Their deep connection to our schools and dedication to youth sports makes them the perfect partner. Here we go, top of the fourth inning. 5-6-7 due up for Brookstone, and leading things off, Harrison Baker driving it to left field, off the fence for extra bases. Vikings getting it in, but it is a double for Harrison Baker, a double to left center field. And just like that, on one pitch, the Cougars are in business here in the top of the fourth inning. Baker had flown out to right his first at bat, substantially better there. It just barely stayed in the ballpark. Wind blowing out. We've already seen one home run, and there's one good solid double from the other side. Nick Hatchell coming to the plate. Hatchell struck out in the second inning. Hatchell, of course, dangerous, hitting .375 coming into this contest with 5 runs batted in. Billy Smith looking to rebound from that first pitch problem. The pitch to Hatchell. Hatchell, ground ball down the line. Landon Lauk with a great stop, but he puts it in his pocket wisely. Lauk kept that from being extra bases. He made the catch right on the line, 2 steps over into foul territory. Hatchell could book, and so he was going to be on first anyway, so Lauk wisely did not throw. Because if you airmailed at the first, you got real problems. The thing was, Harrison Baker was not able to advance from second base. So there are runners in first and second with no outs. It could have been worse. If it got past Lauk, it would have meant a run. Jake Griffin coming up. Griffin, first pitch swinging, ground ball to second. Carino over to second for 1. Velos' throw is going instead to third. He did not have a shot at getting Griffin. Instead, he tried to see if Baker would round a little too wide. Baker did not. So it's a fielder's choice. If you're scoring, it's a 4-6 out on Hatchell. So your runners on the corners with 1 out now. Baker on third, Jake Griffin on first to bring up Dylan Johnson, the designated hitter. Johnson struck out in his first at bat back in the third inning. Brookstone, runners on the corners, 1 out. Game tied 1-1. Billy Smith's first delivery. Whoop, he steps off the rubber. Made a move toward third, but nothing doing. So we will reset and try it one more time here. Johnson came into the game 2 for 4 in the season. Swinging foul ball on down the right field line. Aiden Dixon gives chase, but there was no way he was going to get to that one. That's on the wrong side of the fence. 0-1 count. And as I mentioned, Johnson, 2 for 4 with an RBI coming into the ball game. He's got a double on the year. And he's got a runners on the corners trying to pick up his second ribby of the season. Pitch a little bit high, 1-1 count. Billy Smith been doing a fine job so far. In a little bit of trouble here in the top of the 4th inning. Pitch count up to 62. Right-hander gets the sign, checks the runner at first. Comes set. The pitch driven to left field. It will fall in for a single. Carter Dixon, it handcuffs him. And that allows the runner to go slide into third base, and on that, Johnson going into second. So the single left field brings in a go-ahead run for the Cougars. It is now 2-1 Brookstone. Dylan Johnson with his second RBI of the season. That ball went out to left and it handcuffed Carter Dixon. But they're not going to award an error on that one. They think the runner would have advanced anyway. So here we go. First pitch to Mitchum Kelly. Up high for ball 1. Kelly flew out to center field in his first at bat back in the third inning. The pitch up high, ball 2. So we got runners on second and third with 1 out here. 1 run already in for Brookstone, and they want to see if they can manage in some more. Holding a 2-1 lead. Here's Smith's pitch. The 2-0 taken up high, ball 3. So 3-0 count. Smith's been ahead of the hitters for the most part today. But he's down. 3-0 count now here. First base is open. The pitch. A little bit outside, ball 4. So Mitchum Kelly walks on 4 pitches. So the bases are now loaded with 1 out, and that brings up the top of the lineup, Gray Jones. Jones doubled and scored the first run of the ball game back in the third inning. He also flew out back in the first. And time is called. Matt Ward going out to talk to his pitcher and the rest of the infield, most of the rest of the infield trotting in to check in and make sure everybody's on the same page here. Check that. The only one in is shortstop Jacob Velos. Ward, Levi Thompson, Smith, and Velos talking things over. Meanwhile, on the other side, Brookstone's Greg Mathis meeting with his guys. This is a big pitch coming up. This is a big at bat, to say the least. Brookstone up 2-1, bases juice with 1 out. The Cougars would love to break this game open right here. The Vikings, of course, just trying to get out of this thing with no more damage. They've got 2, 3, 4 coming up in the bottom of the fourth inning. It'll be an opportunity to get something going there. So here we go. Smith will work out of the windup to Jones. Gets a sign from Thompson, the first pitch. Swinging, Jones fouls it off. He ripped that one way out there, but way in front of it. So it's a loud foul for strike one.
Let's go, Bill.
Jones with some power. He's already got a double this season. He's got 4 runs batted in. Here's Smith's 0-1. Jones swinging, fouls it off to the right side this time. Out of play. 0-2 count. Smith ahead of the hitter now, where he has been most of the game. It'll be pitch number 70 coming up. Smith gets the sign from Thompson. Here's the 0-2. A curveball pops it up in the infield. Lauk chasing it down. The third baseman, the freshman, grabs it for out number 2. It's really tricky up there. The breezes are blowing. They're shifting around just a little bit. Lauk looking up into the sun as well, but he keeps the beat on it and brings it in for the second out of the inning. And that brings up Brennan Neal, the shortstop, who's grounded out and was walked intentionally in the third. First pitch to Neal. Up high, ball 1. Neal, of course, dangerous. He's verbally committed to Auburn, and he's only a junior. Top hitter, came into the game hitting .500, scored 13 runs to lead the team. He's got a couple of triples. Good speed, 5 stolen bases. He's an all-around good player. Breaking ball outside, 2-0 count. There's no place to put him now. 2-0 count on Brennan Neal. Bases loaded, 2 outs here. Top 4, Brookstone with a run in the inning to take a 2-1 lead, trying to add to that. Billy Smith gets the sign from Thompson. The pitch, outside ball 3. They're being very, very careful here. They have to be. Neal, one of the top players in the state of Georgia. So we'll see if the take sign is on this 3-0 pitch. Smith's delivery. In the dirt, ball 4. So Neal walks, and a run comes in. A bases loaded walk. A second run of the inning for the Cougars. It is now 3-1 Brookstone. And that brings up number 3 hitter Luke Lowry. Lowry's grounded out. He grounded out in the first and then drove in the first run of the game with a single to center field in the third inning. Brought Gray Jones in with that first tally. It is now 3-1 Brookstone. 2 runs here in the fourth. Here's Smith's pitch. Breaking ball inside for ball 1. Brookstone trying to break this thing open. They've got a 2-run lead now. Here's the 1-0. Out, catches the corner, strike 1. Painted the corner with that one. Nice fastball. Luke Lowry trying to see if he can add to his RBI total. He's already got 7 on the season. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball outside. 2-1. 2-1 count now on Luke Lowry, the senior center fielder. Dylan Johnson on third. Mitchum Kelly on second. Brennan Neal on first. Smith out of the stretch. The pitch. Ground ball chopped up the middle. Velo scoops it up. Fires to first, and the throw is over the head of the first baseman, Dustin Sherman, and 2 runs come home. Ouch.
Now batting, number 14.
Velos came up throwing and chucked it over the head of Dustin Sherman. There wasn't anything Sherman could do about that one. So 2 runs home on the error. And that will bring up Jake Lowry, the 9th hitter the 9th hitter of the inning. Brookstone, 4 runs in this frame to take a 5-1 lead. First pitch to Jake Lowry. It's inside ball 1. Lowry walked in the second and grounded out to end the third inning. Brookstone getting exactly what they wanted out of this inning, taking advantage of the opportunity they were presented. Billy Smith's pitch. Ground ball towards short. Velos over to Cam Carino for the force out to end the inning, but in the inning, the Brookstone Cougars with 4 runs on 1, 2, 3 hits. There was an error, and there were 2 runners left on. So at the end of 3 1/2 innings, it's Brookstone 5, Pacelli 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Hey, from the sidelines to surgery, Houston Clinic, a proud presenting sponsor on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. They keep athletes in the game. And in this game, we're going to the bottom of the 4th inning. Pacelli now trailing by a score of 5-1 after Brookstone breaks through with 4 runs in the top of the frame. It is 2-3-4 due up this inning. Jacob Velos leading things off here in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch from Luke Vale. Velos driving it in the air to left field, but Harrison Baker is there for the catch for out number 1. That'll bring up center fielder Nolan Vaughn. Vaughn grounded to third base in his first at-bat. Hey, remember, we're going to name our Alex Whitty Allstate Good Hands Player of the Game a little bit later. We still got a lot of baseball to go, though, let me tell you. Nolan Vaughn, as I mentioned, coming to the plate, came in hitting .258 on the season. Here's the first pitch to Vaughn. Swing and miss on the breaking ball. Strike 1. 0-1 count on Nolan Vaughn. Luke Vale has done a good job after giving up that home run to lead off the ball game. He has settled in. That's the only hit he has surrendered. And a pitch outside, ball 1. He's got 2 strikeouts on the day and just that 1 hit. He has been setting him down. The 1-1. Driven to left center field. Can Baker chase it down? No, it drops in between Baker and Luke Lowry for extra bases. Vaughn chugging into second base with the double, and the Vikings are in business. For Vaughn, it's his 4th double of the season. And with 1 out, Dustin Sherman comes to the plate. Sherman, with 3 runs batted in on the season, he'd love to trade places perhaps, or maybe more. That's the first hit. That's the Vikings' first man to get on base since the leadoff home run. First pitch to Sherman on the corner, strike 1. Vale had set down 10 straight. Stepping off the rubber, looking back at Vaughn, who's got a fairly healthy lead off second. Vale getting the sign from Gray Jones. Goes into the stretch. And the pitch. Swing and a miss by Sherman. So it's an 0-2 count on Dustin Sherman. They'll take it this time. Goes into the stretch. Here's the 0-2. In the dirt, gets away from Jones. Vaughn goes into third on the wild pitch. So a runner in third with just 1 out. That run just 90 feet away. Sherman trying to bring it home and try to slice into this 5-1 Brookstone advantage. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 on the corner. And that is strikeout number 3 by Vale on the afternoon. That'll bring up catcher Levi Thompson. Thompson grounded out the shortstop in his first at-bat back in the second inning. Here's his chance to add to his RBI total. He's looking for RBI number 5. Here's Vale's pitch. A little bit low, ball 1. Nolan Vaughn leading off third. Brookstone with a 4-run lead. Pacelli trying to slice into it. Vale out of the stretch, the 1-0. That's a strike. 1-1 count now. Sean Maglione on deck. Thompson looking to at very least keep the inning extended. Vale's 1-1. Thompson pounds it into the dirt. Foul. Count now 1-2. Situational hitting will make or break a team. Top of the inning, Brookstone got the situational hits they needed. The Vikings trying to respond to see if they can do the same. Here's Vale's 1-2. Outside, a little bit low. Count now 2-2 on Levi Thompson, the junior catcher. The delivery. Outside ball 3. 3-2 count now. And full count.
Let's go, bud.
Thompson trying to extend the inning here. At least. And maybe bring that run home. Here's the payoff from Vale. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's the inning. In the inning, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base. At the end of 4, Brookstone 5, Pacelli 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
All right, back here at Diamond Field. Go to the top of the 5th inning. Brookstone with a 5-1 lead. And for the Cougars, it'll be 5-6-7 due up here in this inning. Harrison Baker, Nick Hanschel, and Jake Griffin. Remember, we're going to name our Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands Player of the Game after this contest. We ain't done yet. There's still some baseball to be played. And also, remember, make sure you follow Georgia Alabama Sports Live on all social media platforms for the latest updates on local sports in our area. Do not miss a game. Subscribe to all of our pages today. Billy Smith going through the first 4 innings.
Now batting for the Cougars, number 8.
Went through a solid first 3 innings. The 4th running into a little bit of trouble. He surrendered 5 runs, but only 3 of those runs have been earned. First pitch, over the head of Harrison Baker for a ball. Baker flew out in the second, but in the 4th inning, he doubled to lead off the inning and got the merry-go-round started. He would later score the first of the 4 runs by the Cougars in the inning. Here's Smith's pitch. Swing and miss, strike 1. 1-1 count now. Smith up to 81 on the pitch count. As the bells ring 6 o'clock over at St. Anne Catholic Church, next door here to the baseball field.
Go, Bill.
The Angelus bells will be ringing as well. 2-1. And Smith's pitch. Just a little bit outside. 3-1 count now on Harrison Baker. A good hitter's count. Baker looking to add to that 5-1 lead for Brookstone. The pitch, swinging, driven to left field. Is it going to stay in the ballpark? No, it will not. Over the head of Carter Dixon and gone. Solo home run to left field for Harrison Baker, and the Brookstone Cougars now have a 6-1 lead on Pacelli. He got all of that one. It wasn't one of those high towering shots. It was just a line drive with lots and lots of carry. Gone for Baker, his first home run of the season, the third of the year by the Cougars. And now it is 6-1 Brookstone. And that'll bring up Nick Hatchell, the third baseman. Hatchell struck out in the second and singled to third in the fourth. First pitch, ball one. 1-0 count on Nick Hatchell. Billy Smith winds, delivers. A little bit low, 2-0 count now. The 2-0, strike. Perfect pitch on the outside corner. So the count now 2-1. Smith battling here in the fifth. The delivery outside for a ball. 3-1 count now. He slipped a little bit as the ball went loose. 3-1 count. Nick Hatchell. His Cougars already up by 5. He wants to see if he can get things going and they can add to that lead. The delivery. Swinging off the fist. Pops it up left side. Will it stay in play? The answer is yes. And Jacob Velos making the catch in foul territory for out number 1. So 1 down here in the top of the fifth inning. And that'll bring up Jake Griffin, the right fielder. Griffin grounded out in the second and grounded to a fielder's choice and later went on to score in the fourth. Smith's pitch. Catches the corner. Nice pitch outside. Strike one. Right on the outside edge. Painting the black just like you're supposed to. The next pitch, same spot. Strike 2. And here's the 0-2 delivery from Smith. Ground ball, sharply hit to short, one hopper. Velos fires it to Sherman. Sherman leaps up, makes the catch, comes back down on the bag for the out. So that is out number 2. So 2 outs here in the top of the fifth inning, and that'll bring up Dylan Johnson, the designated hitter. The senior struck out in the third, but in the fourth, he singled to left field and brought in a run. He would later score the third of the 4 runs that Brookstone played it in the top of that inning. The first pitch to Johnson. He thought about it, a little bit high, a little bit outside, ball 1. Smith gets the sign, a 1-0 delivery. Swing, strike 1. 1-1 count on Johnson. Hey, Georgia Alabama Sports Live is proud to welcome our newest sponsor, Planet Fitness. We're excited to have them on board for this season. Here we go, the 1-1 from Smith, found into the screen. Count now 1-2. Smith at the 95 pitch mark here in the sixth inning, or top of the fifth. Trying to get out of this with as little damage as possible. Here's the 1-2. Swing and miss, strike 3, and that ends the inning. In the inning, 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and nobody left on base. At the end of 4 1/2 innings, Brookstone 6, Pacelli 1. You are watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today.
I'm bringing my other half.
I'm bringing the pep talk. Come on. I'm clearing my head.
And I'm clearing 300.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Get all the perks with a PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Join in club or online today. Deal ends soon. See club for details.
Back to Dynamo Field, bottom of the fifth inning. Brookstone leading Pacelli by a score of 6-1. Luke Vale has been very good on the mound. Leading off, Cam Carino jacked a home run to center field, one of those no-doubters. But after that, Vale settled down. He's allowed just one hit after that. Retired, 10 and 12 of the next 13 hitters. He's given up a double, 2 hits. He struck out 4, coming into the inning throwing just 43 pitches through 4. That's efficient. First pitch to Sean Maglione, fouled off into the screen for strike 1. Maglione flew out to center field in his first at-bat back in the second inning. The Vikings try to get something started here, trailing 6-1. Needing to get something on the board here. The time is growing short. They're going to have 3 shots at it. They've got to at least get something here in the 5th. Pitch to Maglione. Grounded toward third. Scooped up. The throw gets Maglione by about 2 steps. Nice play by Hatchell. And that is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That'll bring up pitcher Billy Smith. Smith grounded out to first back in the second inning. Trying to get things going here. He needs to help himself. Vikings down 5. Brookstone trying to shut things down here. Pitch from Vale. Up high for ball 1. Vale gets the sign from Gray Jones, steps off the rubber for a second. Step back on, reset. And here comes that 1-0. Outside ball 2. Carter Dixon on deck for the Vikings. I'll check that. Alex Aponte is on deck. Looks like they're going to pinch hit. And a curveball, big slow curve, strike 1. 2-1 count on Billy Smith. And the delivery. Swung on, fouled off to the right side. So the count now 2-2 on Smith. Swinging. He got a piece of that one off the fists, so he stays alive here. Count remaining 2-2. As Gray Jones goes out to talk to Luke Vale. He trots back as we get set up. 2-2 count with 1 out here on Billy Smith. Nobody on. Pacelli down 5, trying to get something started here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Vale gets the sign, goes into delivery. Breaking ball. Catches Smith on the leg. A hit by pitch, and Smith gets on board. And that'll bring up a pinch hitter. Alex Aponte will bat for Carter Dixon. Meanwhile, got a courtesy runner coming in. Greg Carter will come in and run as the courtesy runner for pitcher Billy Smith. Alex Aponte coming up, hitting 200 on the season. He'll pinch hit here. Vale on the stretch. Over to first. Carter dives back in. The ball gets away from Lowry, so Carter sprinting on down to second base. The Vikings more than happy to take the gift here. So Greg Carter on to second base. First pitch, the pitch to Aponte, strike 1. Vail looking in for the sign. I'm set. And the 0-1 delivery. A little bit low, ball 1. 1-1 count now on Alex Aponte. They're trying to keep Carter close at second. Pitch to Aponte. Ground ball toward the hole. It's short. Brendan Neal comes up throwing, and he gets him. Carter to third is safe. He broke after the throw. But Brendan Neal with a great play came charging in, threw off balance, threw a strike over to Lowry for the out. But Greg Carter awake, advances to third base after the throw. So there's a runner on third with 2 outs. Aiden Dixon coming to play. Dixon looking for his first hit on the season. Trying to keep this inning going. Pacelli with maybe a chance to get something on the board, something they desperately need here in the bottom of the 5th, down 6-1. Vail, the delivery. Dixon lines it up the middle for a base hit. His first hit of the season brings in a run, and the Vikings have cut it to 6-2. Nice piece of hitting by Aiden Dixon. He just drove that thing right up the middle. Nice, solid line drive. He barreled that thing up. Looking good. So the Vikings on the board here, cutting it to 6-2, and that brings up the top of the order. That'll be Cam Carino. Carino homered to lead off the game in the first and flew out to right in the third. First pitch, Carino swinging down the third base line for extra bases. We will see if Dixon will have to hold up at third base. Carino, a stand-up double. And the Vikings, with runners on second and third here with 2 outs, 1 run in the inning, and a chance to maybe get something else going on. Carino, the double to left, a good piece of hitting, sending it down the line. Meanwhile, Greg Mathis strolling out to the mound to talk to his pitcher, Luke Vail, and catcher, Gray Jones. Everybody coming on in. They're going to talk about this one. Vail has been blitzing a great game so far. Up till now, he had been running things, to say the least. The line on Vail so far, 4 2/3 innings, giving up just 4 hits. He's given up those 2 runs, though, with 4 strikeouts. All right, Summit meeting over. Everybody heading back to their spots. Mathis strolling back to the dugout. Everybody going back. The Vikings, after talking to Matt Ward, heading back there, too. So you got Aiden Dixon on third, Cam Carino on second, and the dangerous Jacob Velos coming to the plate. It's 6-2, but you got 2 runners in scoring position. Converting this would change the entire tenor of the ball game. Velos grounded to short in the first and flew out to left in the fourth. And he calls time, stepping out. He's awarded time. They played under Paul Kite. Steps back in. Velos ready to go. The sophomore. One of the Vikings team leaders. Vail. The pitch. Velos takes the first one for a strike. Big at bat here. Second and third, 2 outs.
Go, Jay.
Here's Pacelli's chance to get back in this thing. Vail gets the sign. The 0-1, a little bit low. 1-1 count. Velos being picky. He leads the team. He's walked 13 times this season. Teams have been pitching around him all year. Vail gets the sign from Gray Jones, goes into the stretch, and steps off the rubber. We reset, and here we go. Here's the 1-1. Breaking pitch, taken for a strike. Velos was looking, I think was sitting dead red. He got the breaking pitch, held off. So now it's a 1-2 count. Velos will have to guard the plate. 1-2, 2 runners in scoring position for the Vikings. Down 4. Here's possibly the biggest pitch of the game. 1-2. Velos driving it through the hole. It's short. 1 run in. Here comes 2. The 2-run single. And the Vikings have cut the lead. The Brookstone lead to 6-4. A nice piece of situational hitting by Jacob Velos. The ground single through the hole is short, bringing home Aiden Dixon and Cam Carino. That could be one of your Houlihan's plays of the week this week. Who knows? And the Vikings are definitely back in this thing. It is now 6-4. A whole different ball game here. And that'll bring up three-hitter Nolan Vaughn. Vaughn grounded out in the first and doubled in the fourth. Vale comes set. Here's the pitch. Hammered to left field. Will this stay in the ballpark? The answer is absolutely not. Nolan Vaughn coming up big. Hammers the two-run home run to left field. And this is a brand new ball game, folks. The Pacelli Vikings have tied this thing up at 6-6, and they are fired up to say the least. Is that a Houlihan's play of the week? Oh, yeah, this could be. Nolan Vaughn, his first home run of the season, couldn't have come at a better time. The Vikings back in this thing. They tied it all up at 6-6. Wow, what a turn of events. It was 6-1 coming into the inning, and it looked like things were over. And suddenly, brand new ball game. Meanwhile, it looks like we may have a player shaken up out in left field. He hit the fence pretty hard, so we're going to have to take, this is what you call your Jack Houston injury timeout here. Harrison Baker, they're gathering on Baker to check him out to see if he's okay. At this point, let's take a break here. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia, Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy, and Gordy Eye Care for your support of Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Shot of Baker, come on. Back at Diamond Field, we were in a Jack Houston injury timeout. Harrison Baker trying to chase down that home run by Nolan Vaughn. Slammed into the fence back there pretty hard. He's a tough dude. He played football. Shook him up good enough where he's going to be coming out of the ball game. He's getting checked out. So we'll see who comes in for him. This was a complete turnaround for the Pacelli Vikings. Trailing by a score of 6-1. Luke Vale was cruising along. He got the first out of the inning, and then he hit pitcher Billy Smith, then a ground out. So you're looking at 2 outs, runner on first, or runner on second, because a pickoff throw to first base went wild. Then Aiden Dixon coming through, singling up the middle to bring home the first run of the inning. Cam Carino doubled to put runners on second and third, and then Jacob Belo's key hit single up the middle with 2 outs. That cut the lead to 2. And then on the very next pitch, first pitch to Nolan Vaughn. Vaughn hit it in the stratosphere. That thing was gone. Of course, outfielder Harrison Baker thought he had a shot at it. Baker, running full tilt, ran into the fence out there in left field. He came out. He walked off under his own power, but he had to leave the ball game. So that's where things stand right now. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning, game tied 6-6. Dustin Sherman at the plate. First pitch to Sherman. Sherman hammers it to left field. It is caught, however, and that ends the inning. But in that inning, the Vikings with 5 runs on 4 hits. There was 1 error and no runners left on base. So at the end of 5 innings, it is Pacelli 6, Brookstone 6. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today.
I'm bringing my other half. I'm bringing the pep talk. Come on. I'm clearing my head.
And I'm clearing 300.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Get all the perks with the PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Join in club or online today. Deal ends soon. See club for details.
And we're back for the top of the sixth inning. Brookstone and Pacelli knotted up at 6 apiece. The Vikings making a pitching change, and coming on in is Cam Carino. The second baseman hit his second home run of the season to lead off the contest, now taking to the mound. It'll be his third game of the season. He's pitched just 4 innings, but he's also only given up 1 hit in that time with 2 strikeouts, no walks, and the opposing batting average off of him is .077. Carino slightly injured to begin the season. They kept him out of the pitching lineup. Now they're bringing him in relief in a big ball game. Game tied 6-6. And by the way, Harrison Kuhn is now the left fielder for Brookstone. Came in for Harrison Baker after Baker ran into the fence and was injured. Mitchum Kelly, the number 9 hitter, will lead things off for the Cougars. Kelly flew out in the third and then walked and scored in the 4th inning. Carino's first pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1 from Kelly. Yeah, Kelly's the 9 hitter, but he's basically he's a second leadoff dude. Kelly, coming into this game, was hitting .375. Sometimes you can take your 9 hitter and turn him into another weapon. Pitch from Carino, up a little bit high, ball 1. So 1-1 count now on Mitchum Kelly here in the top of the 6th inning of this 6-6 ball game. Carino winds. Here's his delivery. Line drive. Base hit to left field. Carter Dixon getting it back in quickly. But Mitchum Kelly leading off the inning with a sharp single to left field. The Cougars are in business. Top of the lineup, Gray Jones coming to the plate. Jones has flown out, popped out. He also doubled and scored in the 3rd. It was the first run of the contest for the Cougars. Sun's starting to set here. We're getting shadows. Most of the infield now in shadow. Here's the pitch. Jones takes it up high, strike 1. Letter high, outside corner. Carino comes set. And here's his 0-1 delivery. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Weather shifting down just a little bit now. Temperatures dropped a couple degrees to 50. And you can start to feel it's getting a little chillier out here. First, throw to first. Carino trying to make sure that Kelly does not wander off. Kelly with 1 stolen base so far on the season, but he can motor. We know that from football. He's a great wide receiver. Carino comes set. The delivery. Breaking pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. He gets Jones lunging for out number 1. And that'll bring up Brendan Neal, the dangerous shortstop. Neal is 0 for 1. That's because he grounded out in the first, and then he was intentionally walked in the 3rd, and then walked with the bases loaded for an RBI in the 4th inning. Carino coming set. And the first pitch to Neal. In the dirt, ball 1. 1-0 count. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. The Cougars with Mitchum Kelly on first. Carino trying to keep this minor threat from turning major. Throw over to first in the dirt. Sherman couldn't quite collar it, but it hit Kelly, so it doesn't go anywhere. Here's Carino's 1-0. Popped up by Neal. Will it stay in the ballpark? Looks like it will. In foul to ground. Carino taking it, off his glove. It was off his glove, just foul. He fell as it hit his glove. So new life for Neal. It looked like he was done there. Then he gets another shot at it. Well, it's a 1-1 count. The Carino pitch. Kelly fouls it off, Neal fouls it off into the screen for strike 2. 1-2 count now on Brennan Neal. A guy like Neal, you cannot afford to give away outs. You just cannot do that. Neal, of course, a verbal commit to Auburn, one of the best players in the state of Georgia. Carino comes set. Over to first, and the ball gets away from Sherman. And Kelly slides into second base. Costly error now. There's a runner in scoring position with 1 out, with Brennan Neal at the plate. Levi Thompson going out to talk to Carino, get things settled. So, Carino comes set, and here is his 1-2 delivery. Breaking ball, grounded toward third. Landon Lau, Billy Smith cannot drag it down, and a run will come home. Neal streaking into second, slides in safely for a double. The double to left field, and Brookstone retakes the lead at 7-6. The error, costly. Billy Smith could not quite flag that thing down at third base. So it's a double for Neal, an RBI double. 7-6 Brookstone. That could be a Houlihan's play of the week too. So here we go. Carino looking to keep the damage to a minimum. Runner on second, 1 out. Luke Lowry at the plate. First pitch to Luke Lowry, swing and a miss, strike 1. Lowry grounded out in the first, singled in a run in the third, and then got on an error in the fourth inning, an error that brought home 2 runs. Ground ball to short that got thrown away. Carino, here's the 0-1 delivery. Sent to center field. Will it drop in the middle of no man's land? Single falls in front of Nolan Vaughn. That allows Neal to go slide into third base. So the single to center puts runners on the corners with 1 out. That brings up Jake Lowry, the first baseman. The senior walked, grounded out, and hit into a fielder's choice to end the fourth. So Pacelli, just like that, got back in the ball game, and Brookstone with a quick response, putting a run up here in the 6th inning. Carino gets the sign from Levi Thompson. First pitch to Lowry. A little bit high. Ball 1. Vikings trying to do their best to keep this from getting out of hand. They're going to have to come back a second time. They did it once. Lowry pops it up. Who's going to wind up with this one? This out in the no man lands in short center. And off the glove of Jacob Velos, a run will come home. In the sun, the way the wind was blowing, Velos got turned around. Vaughn was coming in. Velos couldn't quite hang on to it. So the run comes home, and now it is 8-6 Brookstone. 2 runs here in the inning, 2 errors. And I'll bring up Hudson coming to the plate. Harrison Baker. Baker back in the ball game. He was checked out. Apparently he's okay. So Harrison Baker coming to the plate. Last time up, he homered to left field. That was back at the lead off the 5th inning. He's also doubled and scored. That was back in the 4th. First pitch to Baker. Swing and miss, strike 1. So 2 on in the inning. 2 in on the inning. For Brookstone, they got 2 runners on base. First and second here with just 1 out. Chance to add to that lead. Carino's pitch. Ground lined over the third baseman's head. At least one run's coming in, maybe a second. No. Luke Lowry scores, but Jake Lowry pulls up at third. They're going to call that good. Double by Harrison Baker, bringing in a run and putting runners on second and third. 3 runs in the inning for Brookstone. They now lead it 9-6. And head coach Matt Ward strolling out to the mound to talk to his guys. Pacelli with that great comeback in the bottom of the 5th inning, but Brookstone coming back from getting punched in the nose, and they respond quickly with 3 runs, and we are going to have a pitching change. So let's take a break. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Enjoy huge savings on our complete lineup of GMC Sierras and GMC Terrains. Full-size and powerful GMC Sierra at $13,500 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Drive away in the stylish GMC Terrain as low as $395 a month. People from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Check us out 24/7 at glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
And we're back at Diamond Field here in the top of the 6th inning. Brookstone has just posted 3 runs, and the Vikings making a pitching change. Freshman Gray Holt coming in to take the mound for the Vikings. It's his first appearance of the season for Pacelli as a pitcher. The freshman called in to try to get out of a jam here. 3 runs have already scored. The Cougars with runners on second and third at just 1 out. And Nick Hatchell coming to the plate. Big opportunity for Holt to show what he can do. Hatchell struck out, singled, and later popped out. First pitch, outside, ball 1. Holt, soft-tossing lefty. He's going to live on breaking stuff. Gets the sign. Here's the 1-0. To the right side, foul. Count now 1-1. Bringing a guy like Holt, you've been looking at a little bit of steam coming, a lot of steam coming from both Billy Smith and Cam Carino. Now they got to completely change the swing. Here's the pitch. Strike. 1-2. Holt's played in a couple of games in the field. He's 1 for 4 at the plate. And now the 1-2, a little bit outside for a ball. When you go to a complete change of pitcher, you got to change your approach at the plate. Getting timing's tough. We'll see how this one goes. All right, 2-2 count. Holt out of the wind. The delivery. Grounded foul off the fist. He was way in front of it, Hatchell. Stays alive, though. Count remains 2-2. Brookstone coming back with 3 runs here in the top of the 6th inning after surrendering a 5-run lead. The pitch. Lined. Landon Houck now at third, making the catch for the out. Nice play by Houck. Line drive. Lauk, rather. Great play by Lauk. The line drive to his left went to it and snagged it. Everybody stays put. So now 2 outs with runners on second and third. And Jake Griffin coming to the plate. Griffin grounded out in the second, got on a fielder's choice and scored in the fourth and grounded out in the 5th. The pitch. Big swing and a miss on a low pitch. Strike 1. Again, you got to change your timing at the plate. Completely different style of pitching. Gray Holt. Soft tossing lefty with a lot of breaking stuff. The freshman comes set. Here's the 0-1. In the dirt. 1-1 count now. If you can get out of this, Pacelli still has a shot. They're down 3. But Brookstone with a good comeback. After getting punched in the nose, they respond quickly. Holt comes set. The 1-1. Driven to center field. Nolan Vaughn, though, camping under it and brings it in, and that ends the inning. But in the inning, Brookstone with 3 runs on 4 hits. There were 2 errors and 2 runners left on base. At the end of 5 1/2 innings, Brookstone 9, Pacelli 6. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia, Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
And we're back at Timel Field, bottom of the 6th inning. The Pacelli Vikings dug out of a 5-run hole to tie things up. Now they got to come out of a 3-run hole. And a change on the mound for Brookstone. Brennan Neal coming in relief of Luke Vale. The line on Vale, 5 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 4 strikeouts. Now for Neal, it will be his 4th appearance of the season. He has no record and no earned run average either. In his 6 innings, has not given up an earned run. 2 runs, given up 4 hits on 2 runs, but neither earned in the 6th. He's struck out 14 batters in his 6 innings of work and walked 1. Hitters hitting 167 against him. Again, one of the top players in the state of Georgia, multi-talented in all kinds of ways. A solid pitcher with a great fastball, coming in to try to close the door for the Brookstone Cougars. 9-6 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And this, of course, is a big game. This is a district game, the district opener for both ball clubs. And so leading things off for Pacelli will be the number 5 hitter, catcher Levi Thompson. Thompson is grounded out. That was in the 2nd inning, and he struck out in the 4th. He'll be the first guy to take on Brennan Neal, who has now taken over on the mound. Neal looking in for the sign, and here is his first pitch to Levi Thompson. Fastball outside, ball 1. Vale, who started the game on the mound, of course, has moved to second base. Mitchum Kelly sliding over from second to shortstop. The pitch, a little bit low, ball 2. So 2-0 count on Levi Thompson, trying to get things going for Pacelli. Bottom of the 6th, they're down 3. Next pitch, fouled off into the screen, on the fists. A little bit inside, so strike 1. 2-1 count now on Levi Thompson. Sean Maglione on deck. Brookstone trying to slam the door on this thing. Neal comes set. Here's his 2-1. A little bit high, 3-1 count now. 3-1 count on Levi Thompson. And the delivery. Outside, ball 4. So Levi Thompson leading off the inning with a walk. Vikings are in business here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Trying to see what they can do about scrambling around and putting some runs on the board here. Sean Maglione coming to the plate. Got a courtesy runner. Looks like David Mann will go in as the courtesy runner. So David Mann in as courtesy runner. First pitch to Maglione, catches the corner, strike 1. 0-1 count on Sean Maglione. Maglione flew out in the 2nd inning and grounded out in the 5th. He came into the game hitting 300. Time for the team lead was 7 ribbies. Next pitch, caught him inside, swinging, strike 2. 0-2 count on Maglione. Maglione, a sophomore. The designated hitter in this one. And the pitch. Catches a corner, looking, strike 3. So out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That brings up Gray Holt, who came in to pitch last inning. The freshman, 1 for 4 on the season. Obviously hitting 250. Even I can do that math. First pitch to Holt. Catches the corner, strike 1. 0-1 count. Holt trying to help his own cause now. Pitcher. Facing Brennan Neal. Neal's pitch. Ground ball through the right side of the infield for a base hit. Man stops at second. So runners at first and second with 1 out. Here in the 6th, that brings a tying run up to the plate. That'll be Alex Aponte coming up. So Gray Holt coming up with the big hit. They're gonna run a courtesy runner out there for him. Let's see who it is.
Alex Aponte.
That'll be Greg Carter coming back out. Greg Carter will be the pinch runner. He'll be the courtesy runner for the pitcher. Carter quick, he scored a run. When he went in to run after Billy Smith got hit in the 5th inning, he came in to run for him, and he scored the first of those 5 runs in the 5th inning. First pitch to Aponte, taken for strike 1. Aponte grounded out in his first at bat when he pinch hit for Carter Dixon back in the 5th inning. Aponte staying in the game, playing left field. Neal comes set. Here's his 0-1. Aponte taking it up high, a little bit out of strike zone. 1-1 count. So the Vikings with David Mann on second, Greg Carter on first, Alex Aponte at the plate. He is the tying run. Neal's pitch. Aponte off the end of the bat, cues it foul. So count now 1-2. Aponte will have to protect the plate. Aiden Dixon is on deck. Vikings need to get at least 1. They would like to do more. They're in a position to get something accomplished with 1 out and 2 runners on here in the bottom of the 6th, trailing by 3. Neal didn't like that sign, sips back off after shaking it off. Resets, here we go. Here's Neal's 1-2 delivery. Swing and a miss on the breaking pitch, a wicked curveball. Strike 3, and Aponte strikes out. So now there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th, and that brings up number 9 hitter Aiden Dixon. Dixon came into the game 0 for 15. Then he was 0 for 16, but now he's 1 for 17. He hit a beauty of a ground ball up the middle, driving the first of the 5 runs in the 5th. Dixon, first pitch swing and pops it up right side. Will it stay in the ballpark in foul territory? It does, and it is grabbed by Lowry, and that is out number 3. So in the inning, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 2 runners left on base. We go to the 7th inning. Brookstone 9, Pacelli 6. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Enjoy huge savings on our complete lineup of GMC Sierras and GMC Terrains. Full-size and powerful GMC Sierra at $13,500 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Drive away in the stylish GMC Terrain as low as $395 a month. People from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Check us out 24/7 at glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile.
And we're back at Timel Field for the top of the 7th inning. The Pacelli Vikings trailing 9-6. Brookstone trying to put the stamp on it was a comeback victory because they had blown a 5-run lead, the Vikings, with a big 5-run 5th inning. But Brookstone, getting off the mat after getting punched in the nose, came back with 3 runs in the 6th to retake command of this ball game. So they go into the 7th. Leading things off will be Dylan Johnson, the designated hitter, the number 8 hitter. Johnson has struck out twice, but in the middle, he singled in a run, part of that big 4-run inning that the Cougars had back in the 4th. So Dylan Johnson facing freshman Gray Holt, who came in and slammed a door back in the 6th inning. Strike 1 on that first breaking ball. Yeah, Holt coming in when he did and doing what he did in the 6th kept the Vikings in the ball game. They'd given up 3 runs and they had 2 runners on. He retired the last 2 batters. Got them out of the jam as much as they could. The Vikings are still in it. They're going to have to fight uphill if they want to win this thing, but Holt kept them in it. Meanwhile, Brookstone taking care of business so far. Johnson up 2-0 on this one. Here's Holt's delivery. Swing and a miss way outside. Got him fishing. Count now 2-1. 2-1 on Dylan Johnson, the senior. Holt into his wind and the pitch. A little bit low. 3-1 count. The freshman left-hander trying to work his way through this inning and keep the Vikings in it so they have a shot at doing something in the bottom of the 7th. See if they can pull it out one more time. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Holt gets him fishing for out number 1. That'll bring up number 9 hitter, Mitchum Kelly, who is, of course, not your regular number 9 hitter. Kelly flew out in the 3rd, walked and scored in the 4th, and then singled to lead off the 6th inning. He would score the first of the 3 runs that put the Cougars back in the lead at 9-6. Kelly, the junior, now playing shortstop, started the day at 2nd. First pitch. Takes it for ball 1. Kelly showing patience. Holt gets the sign from Levi Thompson. Here's the 1-0. A little bit low, ball 2. 2-0 count on Mitchum Kelly. 1 out here, top of the 7th. Brookstone up 3. They'd like to add to it. Here's the 1-0. Driven to right field, but Aiden Dixon's there to pull it in for out number 2. Pitching to contact works too. That is 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 7th inning and the top of the lineup. Gray Jones coming to the plate, the senior catcher. He's 1 for 4 on the day. Flew out in the 1st, doubled and scored in the 3rd, popped out in the 4th, and then struck out in the 6th. Facing Gray Holt, the freshman. Delivery in the dirt, ball 1. Holt's been perfect so far. Came in with 2 outs, with 1 out in the 6th, got the last 2 batters, and he's disposed of the first 2 here in the 7th. Here's the 1-0. Ground ball right at Jacob Velos. Velos over to first base, and just like that, a quick 7th inning. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. Brookstone trying to finish it off. Pacelli trying to come back. Brookstone leading at 9-6. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Both Chevy Silverado and Traverse are ready for you. Get supplier pricing today on all new Chevy Silverado 1500s with up to $13,500 off. Or get a loaded Traverse, the roomy Chevy SUV with third row seating, and enjoy up to $6,000 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Smart people from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Get ready to smile.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia, Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible. To be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy, and Gordy Eye Care for your support of Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
And we're back at Diamond Field, bottom of the 7th inning. The Brookstone Cougars trying to finish things off. The Pacelli Vikings trying to pull off a second comeback in this ball game. Brookstone leading it by a score of 9-6. But a 3-run lead is not necessarily safe because a 5-run lead wasn't safe. When Pacelli came back to tie it in the 5th inning, they're trying to do it one more time. And they're getting to go from the top of the lineup. 1, 2, 3. Brennan Neal trying to close things out and earn a second save. Meanwhile, the Vikings trying to do it again. Cam Carino 2 for 3 on the day. He homered to lead off the game in the first, flew out in the third, and then doubled and scored in that 5-run 5th inning. Carino trying to see if he's got one more hit in him right here, trying to keep things alive. The Vikings looking to see if they can come back again here in this district opener. Battle of arch rivals, Brookstone and Pacelli. Brennan Neal on the mound, looking tough so far. Looking in for the sign, and here will be his first pitch to the junior shortstop, second baseman. Outside, ball 1. Neal came into the game with 14 strikeouts in 6 innings. He's a fireball. He had 2 strikeouts in the 6th, which is pretty much on target in what he's been doing all season long. Neal gets the sign, comes set. Here's his 1-0 delivery. Low, ball 2, 2-0 count. Carino being picky. He can be now. 2-0, good count. Most of the field is now in shade. Parts in center and left are not. The lights are on here. Here's the pitch. A little bit low, 3-0 count now on Cam Carino. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Yeah, take sign was on, catches the corner. So, 3-1 count. We're still an hour away from sunset, by the way. Pitch inside, ball 4, so Carino takes the walk from Brennan Neal. And the Vikings are in business here. Leadoff man getting on in Cam Carino. Carino with a team leading 7 stolen bases, and everybody's going to be aware of that one, but they need more than 1 run, so getting too fancy in the base is not a good idea just now. Coming to the plate, Jacob Velos. Velos, 1 for 3 on the day. First pitch, catches the corner low, right on the knees, strike 1. Velos grounded out, flew out, and then in the 5th inning, a big 2-run single, part of that 5-run explosion that tied the game at 6. Here's the 0-1. Velos off the fist, down the right field line, but no, it fades foul for strike 2, 0-2. You take it where it's pitched, just a little bit. A little bit off. Carino on first. Vikings need 3. They'll change one at a different baseball. So here we go. 0-2 count on Jacob Velos. Dangerous hitter. Neal comes set. The delivery. Outside, just a little bit. He tried to get Velos to expand the strike zone. Nothing doing there. It was close, but it's a ball. 1-2 count now. The 1-2. Breaking ball, check swing. Neal's only got one play. Flips it over to first for the out. That advances Carino to second. So there's a runner in scoring position, but there's one out here in the 7th inning. Nolan Vaughn coming to the plate. Vaughn, he grounded out in the first, doubled in the 4th, and then in the 5th, hit a 2-run home run to left field that tied the game at 6. A big, big hit. He's got to come up with another one of them. Another big hit anyway. First pitch, outside in the dirt, ball 1. Carino taking a nice, healthy lead off second base, trying to be a distraction. Vaughn at the plate, Dustin Sherman on deck. Here's the 1-0. Strike. 1-1 count now.
Keep working.
Nolan Vaughn trying to be the hero again here. The 1-1. Swinging at strike 2. Neal reaching back for everything he had on that fastball. 1-2 count. Vikings trying to keep this thing going. Neal trying to close it out. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 looking. That is out number 2. So the Vikings are down to their final out. Dustin Sherman, the senior first baseman, coming to the plate. Sherman struck out twice and flew out to left field. He is trying to get on any way, anyhow he can. Levi Thompson on deck. Vikings down 3 with 1 runner on. First pitch, inside corner, strike 1. Neal look like he's finding himself here on the mound after a little bit of struggling in the 6th. The pitch, outside, ball 1. 1-1 count. Neal just rearing back and slinging it. 1-1, Dustin Sherman trying to keep this thing going. Carino with a good lead off second. Here's the pitch. Sherman drilling it to the gap and left into right center field, left center field, but it is hauled in for the final out of the ball game. He just tore into that one, but Hudson Kuhn faded over, made the catch, and that is the ball game. In the inning, no runs on no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. So we have put this one in the books. The Brookstone Cougars winning it by a final score of 9-6 over Pacelli. A big 3-run 6th inning, a response to a 5-run 5th where Pacelli had come back from a 9-1 deficit. What a ball game we had on this one. For Brookstone, 9 runs on 10 hits with 1 error. For Pacelli, 6 runs on 7 hits and 3 errors. The winning pitcher on this one will be Luke Vale. And the losing pitcher will be Cam Carino. Quite a ball game here. And as for our Alex Quinney, All-State Good Hands player of the game, this one has to be Harrison Baker. Baker had himself a great day at the plate. Baker went 3 for 4, 2 doubles, and a home run. Baker, for the home run, of course, part of a big 5-run to help put them up 6-1. His 2 doubles take care of business. He drove in a couple of runs. So Harrison Baker will be our Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands player of the game. So once again, the Brookstone Cougars come back after a Pacelli comeback to take the District 5 opener by a final score of 9-6. The 2 teams will meet up again on Thursday at Brookstone at 4:15. And of course, Georgia-Alabama Sports Live will have that one. The series will wrap up on Friday at 5 o'clock here at Diamond Field. And we're going to have that one for you too. We're going to have all the action from this key District 5 opening series. For producer Chris Gates, I'm Dave Plata. Thanks for watching. You've been watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.